everyone, today we're going to be making a sculpture of a fish using Model Magic. And first thing we need to do is we're going to take this piece of waxy tag board, we're calling it our wax board, and you're going to write your name and class code on it with a Sharpie. And then you're going to take your Model Magic and you're going to cut it in half and set half of it to the side. And the first part we're going to make is our fish's body. So you're going to take your Model Magic, squish it out like a pancake, and then take a juicy marker and you're going to color all over your pancake with the marker. Whatever color you want to use, that'll be the body of your fish color. Then you're going to roll your pancake up like a burrito and squish it and fold it and stretch it and mush it until all the color gets mixed in. And you might want to do that more than once. You might want to make another pancake, color it again, and then basically roll it up and do it again. That'll just make the color a little bit darker. Next, with your clay, you're going to take that and you're going to roll it around on the table with your hand until it's an oval shape. Kind of make a sphere and then roll it out a little bit to make an oval. And then put it on your wax board and just press it down a little bit to flatten it slightly. And then set it on your wax board and just set it aside. We're going to take your extra clay that you had and cut that in half and set half of that aside. The next thing we're going to make is actually the base of your project, so what your fish is going to sit on. So you need to decide, am I making a rock, am I making some sand, am I making some seaweed or some coral, and then whatever that's going to be is what you would color it in. So I'm going to make some seaweed and a rock, so that's why half of it's black and half of it's going to be green. The black piece is going to turn kind of a grayish color, and that's what I'll use to make my rock. And then the green part is going to be what I'm going to use to make some seaweed. So for my rock, I didn't mix the color in all the way. I left it a little bit swirly, and then I also left it a little rough on the outside. For my seaweed, what I'm going to do is actually use my scissors to start to cut it so it has like a rougher, more leafy sort of texture. And I just want you to be able to see how you can just push those down onto your wax board and make the base of your project. So whatever you want it to be, you want it to be any color, any shape. Rocks, coral, seaweed, whatever you feel like making, that's what you're going to work on next. And I'm using my scissors, and I can also use my pencil and poke little holes in the rock. Like if I wanted it to look sort of rough and bumpy, I could actually add texture to it with a pencil as well. So finish your base and put that on your wax board. The next thing you're going to do is take that fish body and you're just gently going to set it on top of your base, and that will help hold your fish up. So you don't want to squish it really hard because this is pretty soft clay, so be gentle. And then the last piece of clay you have is going to end up being all your fins, your eyes, your gills, all that extra stuff. So I think I'm going to make my tail and my fins purple, so that's why I'm coloring that chunk in with purple. And then I'm going to be using my scissors to cut out the shape of my tail and my fins. Now, one way you can make a tail is by just making a circle and then cutting a snip in the middle of the circle and then shaping it with your fingertips to make it into the shape of a tail. So this is what that looks like. I make a circle, I kind of flatten it a little bit, cut it with my scissors, and then I'm gently shaping it, just pinching it a little bit with my fingers to make a tail shape. And for my fins, I'm kind of making a little pancake and then just cutting the shapes out that I think I'm going to want. So I'm keeping those shapes really simple and really clean looking. Later, I can always add texture to those once they're already attached. For my side fins, I'm actually making a little oval shape and cutting it in half, and then I have two of those, two half circles, and I'm just going to squish those onto each side to make my fins that go on the side of my fish. For my eyes, I'm going to take the clay and I'm just going to take two small pieces of clay and roll them into little spheres and then put those on each side of the head, one on each side. And I can take my marker and just push my marker right into the center to make the eye of my fish. So that's a really easy way to make eyes. Now for my mouth, I can either add fish lips, which is kind of funny. You make a little coil of clay and you kind of make like a donut shape, and then you just put the donut shape right on the front of the fish. Or you can just use your scissors and cut into the fish's head to make the mouth like that. So this is my little fish lips. I just make a donut and I stick that right on there like that. So he has kind of funny lips. I have a little clay left over and I'm actually going to use that to make gills. So my gills on this fish ended up being a little bit big, and you don't have to make them like this, but I thought it would be fun to make some blue gills. So I have 2 little coils of clay, and I'm going to just attach those in front of the side fins behind the eye on each side to make my gills. When I'm done, I can use my scissors to cut. So I could cut, if I wanted little lines in the fins, I could cut those in, or in the tail. I can press with the side of my scissors. I could press in lines into the sides for the side fins if I wanted. I can actually use my pencil to poke in scales with the eraser end of my pencil if I wanted. So you're just going to add any of those final finishing touches. I hope you had fun. We're going to let these dry, and then after they're totally dry, you're going to take these home. I'd like you to keep your wax board in your art folder so that we can use it again later this year for another project. Have a great day, everybody.